Hi guys, how's it going? I wanted to do a video on one segment of this White House hearing with the Google CEO Sundar Pichai. Um, I'll link to this video. It's the C-SPAN version on YouTube, and I'm just gonna cover one clip of questioning by Representative Ted Lieu from California. This guy was like really got me riled up mainly because of his rhetoric and his deceptive sophistry. You know, this guy's a true decepticon. But it was really interesting. The whole talk is probably worth watching, like, or having it in the background and listening to. Um, One of the highlights of the talk was this guy in the back. The you guys, there we go. The Monopoly Man guy. Yeah, he was great. He kind of stole the show in a lot of ways because he's back in the two rows back, like making faces a lot. Um, so let me just go into Ted Lieu's questioning and all the things that angered me, or at least got me a little riled up, that I wanted to make a video about it. All right.
Appreciate that. We need a little objectivity in the reviewers, and I'll yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Lieu.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is now the fourth hearing in a series of ridiculous hearings on the free speech of internet companies.
So right off the bat, he's like, the fourth hearing on a set of ridiculous hearings. Like, you guys shouldn't even consider this. This is ridiculous. And he uses free speech as like this mantra, you know, the free speech, First Amendment. Google is a corporation. They're exercising their free speech, their First Amendment. You can't question that, right? You're not American if you question. You know, that's like the patriot kryptonite is like, oh, free speech, right? Okay, yeah.
A significant portion of this hearing was a waste of time because the First Amendment protects private individuals and corporations' free speech rights. Now, there are things that Google does unrelated to speech that I disagree with. But when it comes to search algorithms, your
Yeah, I wonder what those things are that he disagrees with. These tech giants like Facebook, I don't even know who the other ones were, what other hearings there were. These tech giants make a ton of money, and the real reason why Congress, well, there's a few, but one of the main reasons Congress is subpoenaing, bringing them in for questioning is, you know, so that they can get their cut. You know, you guys don't think that after these hearings, the tech companies will not greatly increase their donations and lobbying efforts in Washington? Washington's like, hey, you're not paying the piper here enough. Their politicians' main goal is to get reelected and stay, you know, for power. Yeah.
prioritization, what videos you want to show, the First Amendment protects you. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Some of them are fairly basic, and I apologize, but I feel like I have to educate some of my colleagues on how the U.S. Constitution works.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for educating us. The guy's hubris and arrogance is just annoying, and I don't know if it's like just he's from he represents Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Manhattan Beach, so maybe he's just talking to his base, like arrogant rich people or something. I really don't know, but the guy was too much. But his rhetoric and his deceptive tactics. I don't watch politics. The talking heads, and this guy is definitely a talking head.
And feel free to answer yes or no. So my first question is, we here on the Judiciary Committee are the government, and Google is a corporation, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right.
He's all happy and kind of sheepish and like, oh, yes, yes. Because, you know, it's pretty obvious that this guy is a proponent of Google, and obviously these ridiculous hearings he disagrees with. So Sundar here is quite happy to get these questions. A lot of the other questions in the hearing were, much more about data collection, how long they store the data, collusion or working with China, and all this other stuff. That, I mean, I could go on and on. I may clip out some more of the representatives that question him, because there's a lot of interesting stuff here.
The First Amendment limits what government can do in regulating the content of speech. It does not limit Google, but Google does have to follow corporate laws and other laws. And under those laws, you and your board of directors have a fiduciary duty to your shareholders, correct?
So, a couple things here. What's really interesting, what's happening now, is that the government is well, at least this representative is saying, like, oh, we're going to stay hands off of Google, right? Because they are a corporation, and under whatever law it was, corporations are people, and people have free speech rights under the First Amendment. So we're hands off. But the corporations themselves are, at least maybe not. I really don't know all the details on Google search, how it may display certain results or not. There's a whole computer industry, probably millions and millions of dollars on search engine optimization. It's called SEO. But definitely YouTube is banning certain people, blocking videos, demonetizing videos based on algorithms that are written in-house in Google, and probably in their parent company, Alphabet, which I'm not sure. But the government can't limit free speech, but you're a private corporation, so you can do what you want, right? Understandable. But it's interesting, right? Like, there's definitely a lot of collusion between these organizations and the government. I mean, that's why the monopoly man is there in the background. He's basically saying that Google is a monopoly, and they do have this power in the sense that if they decide to block you, your free speech is blocked or is impeded upon simply because of their massive scope and presence in the internet world, right? But it's like, yeah, the government, no, we don't limit, but all these companies that provide platforms for a huge amount of communication, they can limit. Interesting, right? And then also he mentioned the shareholders, right? Like Sundar is a slave to his masters, which are the shareholders, just like Representative Ted Lieu is a slave to his owners, and he's reminding Sundar of this by saying you're beholden to the shareholders, right? So you got to always make more money. The stuff that's come out with Facebook, these guys will sell anything to anybody for any amount, if they can get money for it. And, there's a huge number of smart individuals working for Google trying to figure out ways how to take the data that they're collecting off of search, off of YouTube, off Android, off of all these other devices and interfaces, and how to repackage that and sell that. I mean, that's their primary goal, or to sell you advertising, or sell advertising to and get you to click through, right? All right, let's keep going.
Yes. Okay. And one of the ways that Google generates a profit is when consumers use your search engine they watch videos, some of them click on ads, they use your applications. Isn't that one way you generate profit?
That's one of the business models we
Okay. And if consumers were not getting the search results
I forgot the Monopoly Man guy is he's in the background with loot.
profit is when consumers use your search engine, they watch videos, some of them click on ads, they use your applications. Isn't that one way you generate profit?
That's one of the business models we.
Okay. And if consumers were not getting the search results they wanted, or not getting the videos they wanted to see, they might start moving to your competitors. Isn't that right?
Every Monday when I run my management meetings, yes, we worry about, users have a lot of choices, so we work hard to earn their trust every week.
Oh, this was interesting. Okay, the guy's like, yeah, you're catering to your users. You're giving them what they want. And then Sundar's like, in our management meetings, we're figuring out how to earn their trust. That's interesting. So in my mind, like, if results or YouTube videos or whatever is like kind of enforcing the demographic profile that Google, just like Facebook and others, have created about you based on your browsing habits, your search habits, your YouTube video or Google Plus or what all the other platforms, but not even, Google Analytics is everywhere. Cookies are dropped on your browser from all kinds of sites. And Google is tracking, collating all that information. So they have an image of you. And then to tie it back to, like, if you have an Android device, even if you don't have an Android device, you have an Apple device, but there are Google services running on the Apple device as well, depending on what applications you installed, right? So they have a very big, large, detailed, and probably fairly accurate picture of who you are. And so they can, like, I guess I'm a little embarrassed to say that I know this information or I know about this information, but I don't use it. Mirroring is a way to, like, con people, or you to gain someone's trust, you mirror back what they're basically saying or feeling, and then that way they're like, oh yeah, you understand me, right? Like, so that is a technique of manipulation, of seduction. And he's basically saying, like, well, how can we get people to trust us? How can we manipulate them so that they do trust us? Yeah, interesting.
And so let's say you figure out that the number one thing users want to see are dog and cat videos. Under the U.S. Constitution, you have the absolute right to promote dog and cat videos. I'm not saying you do that, but you do have the right to do that if you wanted to. Isn't that correct?
Congressman, I'm not the expert on First Amendment, but generally
Yeah, you're the expert. Yeah. Kiss his ass some more.
I think that's right.
I thank you. So last week when I got notice we're going to have another one of these hearings.
Oh, another one of these ridiculous hearings. Oh.
I did a search on Google. I searched.
Oh, yeah. So he's using this guy is pisses me off, but he does the whole rhetoric thing well. So he just said, like, oh, you're just, you promote dog and cat videos. I mean, if that's what your users want, right? Like if you have some YouTube profile account and you have subscriptions and Google's figured out you like dog and cat videos, you get more dog and cat videos, right? That's just your First Amendment right to give your users what they want. And then watch how he's going to flip things a lot here.
For Congressman Steve Scalise. He is a Republican. And I hit the news tab. And the first 4 articles that come up are generally pretty positive. The first one is from Town Hall, a generally conservative publication about his book, Back in the Game. Second article is also about his book, Back in the Game. Third is about him talking about election results. Fourth is from Fox, another positive article about his book, Back in the Game.
Boy, you said the book name like 3 times. Are you getting a cut there from book sales or something? Are you co-author? What's going on there, buddy?
You don't have a group of people at Google, they're sitting there thinking, hey, we like Steve Scalise, so we're going to generate positive articles.
Oh, you don't have, listen to the language. You don't have people thinking that you like Steve Scalise. Interesting.
On these search results. That's not what's happening, right?
I'm very glad to see Congressman Steve Scalise fully recovered and back, but we don't deal with individual queries and, with any viewpoint, and so these
In fact,
these are our algorithm.
nowhere in your programming code does Congressman Steve Scalise even show up. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Now I'm going to do a real-time Google search for a very similar term. I'm going to change one word. So I'm going to search for Congressman Steve King. I'm going to hit the News tab. First article that pops up is from ABC News. It says, Steve King's racist immigration talk prompts calls for congressional censure. That's a negative article.
Steve King's racist immigration talk. I don't even know. I don't know the details of all this, but news outlets are in the business to get views and people reading their articles or reading their posts and also watching their content on their site or on the TV or cable or whatever, right? They're in the business of creating salacious titles that pull you in. So yeah, the whole racist thing. What did he say that's racist? I don't even know. But this decepticon, Representative Ted Lieu, is just using his platform for purely political sophistry here and spin and. I mean, what do I expect, right? What do you expect? He's a freaking politician. Definition of. He's better than a liar. He's a sophist. He's using this whole line of questioning for all kinds of other reasons.
But you don't have a group of people at Google sitting there thinking and trying to modify search results. Every time Steve King comes up, a negative article appears. That's not what's happening, right?
We always operate for any query with the same set of principles. We are trying to reflect what is currently, if it is newsworthy, what is currently being discussed about that phrase.
Thank you. So let me just conclude here by stating the obvious.
Stating the obvious, meaning you should get it. It's obvious, of course. Good, God.
If you want positive search results, do positive things. If you don't want negative search results, don't do negative things.
So the positive, he brings up 2 cases of Republicans, and so this is all political what he's doing, but the first one is like positive results, right? Like he wrote a book Back in the Game that Ted Lieu said the name of like 3-4 times. Interesting. The name of the book is interesting. Back in the Game, this fucking game here that they're playing. And then the second guy, right? Oh, he said something negative. You want negative if you don't want negative press, don't say anything negative, like racist immigration, right? Like, never mind, you don't have any clue what he said. It's just this allegation, a headline. So it's just the headline that you said, and you just are, it's obvious, that's obviously true, even though you don't know anything about it, right? This guy is such a charlatan.
And to some of my colleagues across the aisle, if you're getting bad press articles and bad search results, don't blame Google or Facebook or Twitter. Consider blaming yourself. I yield back.
You just were saying that Google can promote whatever they want. Google can promote cat videos. Well, they can also promote articles that say someone's a racist because they don't because they disagree or they don't like their political leanings, right? The this guy was just so awful that I had to like try to deconstruct him a little bit because it was God. The politics. I don't think I couldn't watch politics anymore, even if I want. I'd go insane listening to these talking heads, you know. And okay, a couple things, and then I'll stop rambling about this crap. But this whole thing with Google, like, get my head out of the water bottle there. It's bugging me. But this whole thing with Google was like, you know, the government is like, they're definitely in collusion with these large tech companies. The military, the government doesn't have to, you know, they don't need to have like harm your Fourth Amendment rights or your Fifth Amendment rights or whatever to like need a search warrant to get all kinds of information on you. No, they're just like, oh well, Google, Amazon, Facebook. We need to be in your data centers. We need the private keys to all your encryption certificates. And yeah, if you don't like that, then, well, we're going to have a problem. And since we're the government, we can make things very, very difficult for you, or we can make things very, very easy for you, right? Like, so what do you think's happening? The government is definitely concluding very intensely or very in many, many ways, very pervasively, with Google and with all these other tech giants. And then the whole thing with China, like you don't think, well, number one, Google's in it to make money, like another like billion devices or something that are running all kinds of Google services and searches or getting that information. And then you don't think our military doesn't want Google to be in China so that they can they can get the information of the Chinese people. Anyway, and then with the financial industry, like forget it. Like I could go on about that, but I mean these so many of they're going after a lot of content creators, at least on like YouTube. There's been bans on Patreon. A lot of people are jumping ship off of Patreon to a alternative Subscribestar. So I mean, there's other search engines that are popping. There's privacy-minded search engines that then interface with Google, but they hide all your personal, like the cookies and all this other stuff. There's all kinds of more and more information. People are, you know, getting rid of Facebook and these other because, you know, they're not. I don't have the clip of George Carlin, but like they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about us. They care about money. Like this guy, and same with this guy. The money for him equals campaigning and votes, right? So they don't give a shit about us, your privacy. That's all a facade, you know. Underneath, it's all being repackaged. It's being sold. You're being manipulated to get you to click on advertisers that are paying Google to get prominence in and eyeballs on their results that they're getting paid for. Anyway, all right. Hope you like this video. Please comment if you watch the White House hearings. Let me know what you think as well. You can like, subscribe, share. You can support me on Subscribestar. And all right, thanks. Take care.